DTDC Launchpad, the emergence of rapid commerce in India.
DTDC marked its 36th Foundation Day with a landmark event,
bringing together industry leaders and visionaries under one roof to chart the path forward for logistics and e-commerce in India. The evening set the tone for conversations on innovation, speed, and the future of delivery in a rapidly evolving marketplace.
A very good evening to one and all. I would like to extend a very, very warm welcome to all our esteemed guests, partners, industry leaders, media friends, and our entire DTDC family. Let's have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, and bring in some energy in the room. Why have we gathered here tonight? Of course, we are here to celebrate milestones together, some occasions together. But we've also gathered here to do something very, very important. We're here to spark conversations, to share insights, to share knowledge, and create endless possibilities together. On behalf of the DTDC family, it gives me immense pleasure to invite someone very, very special on stage. Please put your hands together. Let's give a thunderous round of applause for the Director of Customer Experience at DTDC, Miss Arpita Mitra.
It is my privilege and absolute joy to welcome you here on this special occasion where we are going to have this amazing launch, DTDC Launchpad, where we are talking about the emergence of rapid commerce in India. This year, DTDC completes 35 years of its journey of service. Over these 3.5 decades, we have seen it all: growth, profits, disruptions, many challenges. And each time, we have responded with agility, reinvented ourselves, and came back stronger. And this resilience is what defines DTDC. We have with us a room full of builders, of disruptors, of dreamers, the founders and leading voices of D2C and B2B, who have joined us today here to share their thoughts, their experiences. And with this, we are going to have fantastic conversations with our fabulous panelists, where these conversations are going to range from knowing the influence that an informed customer has and what is it that we can do to ensure that the required speed of business that is there, we can cater to that.
And as ma'am rightly pointed out, we're going to have some fantastic conversations coming in. We are all set to start with our first panel discussion.
The first panel focused on changing customer needs and how brands can keep pace with today's empowered consumers. From speed and convenience to personalization and transparency, our distinguished panelists highlighted how businesses must adapt. The next panel turned its focus to speed in rapid and quick commerce, a space that is redefining the way consumers shop. As e-commerce evolves, the discussion highlighted how delivery timelines of hours rather than days are set to reshape convenience, trust, and the overall consumer experience.
If the past decade was about reach, taking products and services to every corner of the country, the next will be about speed. Yes, our next discussion is on this new phenomena called rapid commerce.
So I'll start with you, Abhishek. This is a question. So we've just heard about customer expectations and the impact of delivery timelines. How do you see the landscape evolving from a logistics industry standpoint?
I shouldn't be saying this in this audience, given that we are the ones who are sitting in the middle. Whether you're the brand or the consumer, you have to transit yourself through logistics companies. So all of this is actually music to our ears. You need it faster, you need it slower, you need it offline, you need it online. At the end of the day, someone has got to bring it to your home, which is eventually the responsibility that we carry on our shoulders. But specifically from what we've researched and what we've done a deep dive on, with this overarching growth of this rapid commerce space, it becoming a $20 billion GMV market from what our estimates suggest. That also means that's more than a $2 billion plus logistics market that we are talking about that's going to altogether newly emerge. I think what I see as a very progressive thing happening right now is gone are the days, whether it's a D2C brand or a traditional brand, you just call 5 players, look at rate cards, look at prices, look at reach, and try to find the best mix. I think there'll be deeper engagements that is going to happen between brands and logistics players because it's a far more intricate and long reaching or far reaching consequences that are going to happen because of the kind of partnerships that you're going to build.
Coming to you, Rahul, what is your point of view on this?
The entire express logistics industry today is $5 to $6 billion, right? So the opportunity that we are talking about is manifold of what the entire market today, all the players put together. I think there are some dimensions of this opportunity that are useful to understand. This is across categories. I think most importantly, this is going to be a pan-India phenomena. This is not a top 8 cities urban phenomena. This is as much, if not more, Bharat than India and Viksit Bharat. So I think that's really the important part about this. And for logistics players, I think the implication is the model is going to be completely different. The slow commerce model was hub and spoke. So you have large warehouses, you have small warehouses, and you deliver. The quick commerce model of 10 to 15 minutes is dark stores, 15-minute deliveries, right? So point to point. Rapid commerce is going to be a unique model. It's going to be shared dream stores, like Abhishek likes to call it, shared across many brands. So it brings scalability, it brings speed, but at a sane cost, right? For across categories where affordability matters. So I think this is going to be a fundamentally new game for logistics players.
To bring a brand's perspective more to you, Lokesh, for a product like yours, Nasha Miles, how do you see what is the impact of this evolving customer expectation, and how do you what are you planning to do to benefit from this new trend?
I mean, first and foremost, sales बढ़ जाती है. So that is the biggest impact for all of us. So at Nasha Miles, so we make suitcases, backpacks, and travel accessories. So what is more important is, and on day 0, we always used to ask, who are these customers who need a luggage bag at the last minute? However, times have evolved and these quick commerce players have changed fundamentally the consumer behavior buying pattern. We don't need the bag. However, you have got used to instant gratification. A moment customer swipes their card and puts their OTP and a product comes on the doorbell, rings, somebody comes, there is a joy. So there is a moment of instant gratification, which is really helping customers.
Coming to you, Sumit, how does rapid commerce play a role in Wayco's strategy and plan going forward?
I think it plays a very significant role primarily because customer expectation is that they want the product fast. To give a bit of background, we make medicines from cannabis. So most of our medicines are for sleep, pain, anxiety. Now, if someone has gone through the process of talking to a doctor, generating a prescription, placing the order online, they want the product as soon as possible because it's their need. Though we want to service pan-India, we are not at every available chemist. So the best way to go about this is through rapid commerce. To ensure that at least by the next day, the customer gets the product, or at least the same day the customer gets the product. So that way, customer satisfaction is met, they have a better experience, and then they keep coming back for more.
Abhirup, and you work with a lot of digital-first brands, right? So you must have seen this trend panning across several such brands. Yeah. What, in your mind, is the correlation of speed and growth?
It's a very tight correlation, and we have the benefit of working with hundreds of brands quite closely. And the reason why we are investing heavily in building our proposition for quick commerce is because of that correlation. So people typically talk about cost of quick commerce, right? People say that it is going to be expensive, there is going to be additional inventory holding costs, etc. But the benefit that it promises on the revenue side actually far outweighs the cost. In our data, we can clearly see that there is a very strong anti-correlation between RTO and delivery speed. Every 1 day reduction in delivery speed actually reduces RTO by 5%. People have tried a bunch of things on the RTO side. People have tried analytics. People have tried a push towards prepaid orders, etc. But I believe that delivery speed is the only lever that can reduce RTOs without impacting your top line. Everything else will have a top line impact. But if you are actually solving for delivery speed, you see a tangible reduction in RTOs without really taking a hit on your revenues. That's a big benefit.
What in your mind is the best approach for rapid fulfillment? Build in-house, outsource, form strategic partnerships, or all of the above? Abhishek, any thoughts on that?
The way we've looked at it always is we've asked ourselves the same question: what would the brand do? Because at the end of the day, in all of this conversation, we believe that the hero should be the D2C brand, because the brand creates the products. We of course know we are building it for the consumers, and the consumers have choice. But at the end of the day, it's the brands who are putting out those products. And founders and brands have to spend significant amount of time on research, on understanding the consumer behavior, on what works, what doesn't, data and research. In all of this, I honestly believe logistics, supply chain, fulfillment is essential, but the most painful and possibly the easiest to solve if you have the right kind of partnerships present with you. And it can only work on scale. And that's where probably new brands entering now are no longer saying we want to have our own logistics arm, we want to have our own warehouses. We would rather focus on our consumers, we would focus on our product. We would work with large scale, long-term focused logistics players who can build that pipeline and infrastructure and possibly do it in a way that we as brands don't have to pay a king's ransom just to get that speed, just to get that growth, right? It should not be a choice between should I go at fast or should I burn my bottom lines and worry when the next funding round is going to come. I think we want D2C brands to have a better experience themselves so that they can create greater products. And I think therefore that partnership-driven outsourcing is the way forward. That's my view.
Thank you so much, all of you, for your wonderful insights and thoughts. And looking forward to getting together on this journey of rapid commerce together.
DTDC Launchpad, the emergence of rapid commerce in India. DTDC Launchpad, the emergence of rapid commerce in India.
DTDC leaders then took the stage for a special moment, unveiling of a white paper on the rise of rapid commerce in India in collaboration with Boston Consulting Group. The launch reflected DTDC's vision for the future of logistics in India, where speed is set to become as decisive as product and price in shaping e-commerce.
My first question is to Abhishek sir right here. So the report talks about a $20 to $25 billion GMV opportunity by 2030. Now, what are the one or two biggest enablers that could help India capture this wonderful potential?
When we talk about whether it's quick commerce or rapid commerce specifically, I think three things really stand out. First of all, I believe having a shared dark store infrastructure which can allow consumers to have a better access to lower capital expenditure and yet expand reach with the tier 2, tier 3 impetus that we're talking about. I think that's very important. Technology is going to be superbly critical. I think we are getting to the point where businesses and the government functionaries need to start talking about the infrastructure and the ecosystem, right from the licenses that are required to set up additional places of business, various other things that you need, regulatory aspects. I think we're getting to the point that will also be very, very critical for the success of rapid commerce in India.
My final question is to Alpesh sir. So I wanted to ask that what makes India uniquely positioned to scale with faster delivery models, especially right now in this time?
You know, India is a juggernaut that has been 30 years in the making. I don't know if people realize this, but India has been growing at 6.5% a year for the last 30 plus years, since 1993.
Wow, that calls for an applause, everyone.
What that means is, literally you double, in real terms, you double every 11 years. So over the last 32, 33 years, we've gone from being a $500 billion economy to a 4 trillion economy. So we're about 4 trillion today. If you look at the next, 22 years, India will go from being a 4 trillion economy to a 15, 16 trillion economy, right? So that's just numbers. With that, what is happening is we just have a more confident India. We have a more confident set of Indians who are very demanding, if I call it that, and who are becoming even more demanding. So I have to tell you this, what this means is that by 2047, India is going to go from being 5% of the world GDP to 60. Why is that important? You're already seeing the difference. the respect that we have globally is shifted in the last 10 years. You fast forward the next 5 or 10, it's going to be even different. I don't think there'll be any slow commerce left as you fast forward. So it's all going to be next day delivery, same day delivery, 4 hours, 2 hours, quick commerce, 15 minutes, right? And different segments will find different homes, but I think that's where the world is headed. So.
Wow, thank you so much for those wonderful conversations. Let's have a bigger round of applause for our fantastic leadership team right here. To take us further on this incredible journey, we now have here with us someone who truly understands the pulse of businesses. Please help me in welcoming with a huge round of applause the Vice President of Integrated E-Commerce Logistics at DTDC, Mr. Ajay Sukhmani.
We are world's largest growing major economy, which is powered by bold reforms, rising income, a digital revolution in form of UPI. We have leapfrogged. Customers are investing differently. In this new India, speed is no longer a luxury. It's a bare minimum expectation in order to succeed in the business. And that's where the need of rapid commerce arises. Beyond numbers, guys, one thing which is very important to understand here is the exciting part about this whole journey is the very nature of e-commerce is changing and evolving. With e-commerce going faster, demand becoming more local, consumer needs evolving, brands no more rely or want to wait for 3 days delivery model in order to succeed the business. Speed is the new competitive edge which has came out with all the panel discussions, which has also came out in our white paper, research which we have conducted during the white paper. While quick commerce shows that there is a demand, there is a success, but one thing which is very critical to understand, this success comes on the cost. You have to pay hefty commissions to platforms, you lose control over the data. At the same time, you have to pledge your inventory with the platform. At times, if the inventory is not getting sold, what essentially you do, you take your inventory back. For the window, your capital is blocked. The real space is not in 15 minutes or 30 minutes or in days. The real sweet spot is 4 to 6 hours. That is the white space. That is where the demand is. No competition, a clear demand. One thing very important. Till yesterday, until today, there was no leader in this space, which is 4 to 6 hours rapid commerce. Presenting first time ever DTDC's rapid commerce solution. If you would have heard about, I clearly said, until today, until yesterday, there was no clear leader. Guys, starting this movement, we are the leaders. DTDC Rapid Commerce. With this, with your kind permission, guys, allow me to launch Raftaar.
Presenting DTDC Raftaar. Rapid bhi, smart bhi.
Raftaar is a locally distributed network of dark stores where we enable brands for 4 to 6 hours delivery, rather 2 to 6 hours delivery, backed by DTDC legacy of 35 years and 16,000 customer points. Already ready to use 16,000 customer points, the most important point. These points are, we can go live in this 16,000 points for your dark stores, for your local deliveries as of tomorrow. That's the situation we are in. Hence, I told you till today, there was no leader, but now we are. Founders, supply chain colleagues, starting today, gone are those days when you had to pledge your inventory with marketplaces. Gone are those days when you had to pay hefty commissions to marketplaces. Gone are those days when you had no control over the data. Raftaar gives you control over the data. Raftaar gives you ability to deliver 4 hours, 2 hours, 6 days, 6 hours, same day, without depending on marketplaces. It gives you end-to-end control and better margins. So that's Raftaar for you guys. That's Raftaar, which is Rapid bhi, Smart bhi.
As we come towards the end of this fantastic evening, it is time to hear from the person without whom we would have not gathered here tonight. Please help me in welcoming with a thunderous round of applause our Chairman and Managing Director at DTDC, Mr. Subhashish Chakrabarti.
When I started this company way back in 1990, sometimes, I heard recently from Abhishek, I said that Abhishek, tell me, what is this so much of thing going on startup? He said, Dad, you don't know. You are the OG startup. I said, what is OG startup? But that is the new name. People like you, when you started those days in 1990, when there was no VCs. But one thing I understood that day, even today when I'm hearing all those things, I understood one thing, that if anyone can understand the pain point correctly, he can create something. I think possibly for all startup people, all the founders, all these people, I can say, find the pain point. What was the pain point those days? To start a business, I thought I'll start a distribution company. But when I thought of distribution company sending my products was reaching, but my ability, which I was sending through post office, it was not reaching. Somebody told that if you depend on post office, your business will never grow. So what I should do? They say, go to courier company. I say, courier company होता क्या है? बोलते होगा आप देखो जाके वहाँ पे उस जगह पे courier मिलेगा वो courier मिलेगा. That is the way I understood. The pain point of the dealer distributor those days has to be solved if I do courier company. So my journey of understanding the pain point and solution of pain point started from that day. Going fast forward, when after 30 years, 35 years, when I reach today, when I see everywhere this e-commerce movement started, we realize that something we have to do here. Then we started realizing the pain point of customers. And today I got a solution. What solution I got today? I realized in English alphabet, the Q and S, quick commerce and slow commerce के बीच में एक alphabet आता है. उसका नाम क्या है? R. So I realize now, if quick commerce will be dying or slow commerce will not work, but rapid commerce is going to have a long time thing, and that is the reason DTDC's express to exponential journey is going to work. That is, I have no doubt about it. Thank you very much. God bless all of you.
Thank you so very much, sir, for those words of wisdom that have resonated with the whole room, and for also reminding us that the best is yet to come. Thank you so much once again, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dhwani Karya signing off. Thank you.
35 years of India's trust, delivered daily.